My father was an incredibly joyous person. He was someone who was very fun-loving. Anybody who knew him from early years, from when he was a bachelor and until the end of his life, he was someone who loved to laugh, to joke, to meet people, to be around. He was a lot of fun. He had a simchas hachaim, he had a joy of life which defies a childhood of early orphan, being orphaned at such a young age, going through the Holocaust and a lifetime afterwards, which wasn't easy. My father's professional life and so on and so forth was filled with challenges and so on, and you could never tell. You could never tell. The second is that during his time in Mogilev, believe it or not, he learned Torah every day. He had a Rabbi, Rav Yosef Stern, who was from the family of the Chassam Sofer. In fact, he was the one who published many of the Svarim, the Drashos of the Chassam Sofer and others. My father had the privilege to learn Torah with him every day. And people sometimes struggle faith around the Holocaust, a very understandable and significant struggle. It was completely unapparent in my father's life, because he went through the Holocaust with the Torah. He went through the Holocaust with God. There's a story I've told 100 times and never tire of telling it, is that they were studying Torah and it came 7 o'clock, whatever, one evening, and his Rebbe, his teacher, said to him, okay, my father was known to many, that Yumi, he says, Yumi, he says, it's already, 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's time for supper. So he closed the Gemara, he closed the volume of the Talmud. He says, it's time for supper? Fine. So he says, 1 second, Yumi. He says, is there food at home for supper? And my father said, not really. So he said, okay. So he opened the Gemara. He says, let's have another Blatt Gemara for supper. And that's, tzadikim yoshvim, vatroseim, brosheim, v'nenim b'ziv hashchina. There's such a thing as people being sustained by the Spirit.